Hey guys, it's Quinn, and today we're going to be taking a look at the iconic race car battle that formed in the early 1960s, Ford versus Ferrari. Ford versus Ferrari is the story of the Ford Motor Company trying to beat out Ferrari, the most dominant race car company at the time, in the Le Mans race in France. The film stars Christian Bale and Matt Damon in what ultimately feels more like a buddy story than a story about racing. And that's really what I want to focus on early in this review. This film has its faults, to be sure, but the relationship between Matt Damon and Christian Bale in this film is undeniable. Matt Damon, as the car engineer, plays the intermediary between the Ford Motor Company and the Bale character, who is the main racer of this film. He plays it to perfection. To be clear, this film, in my opinion at least, is all about these two characters trying to overcome the bureaucracy of racing in France especially, and the Ford Motor Company to win a championship. And watching Damon be a good friend to Bale while also successfully playing politician is an awkward role to sell genuinely in this film, and in general. But Matt Damon does it, which allows Bale to shine as a truly independent character whose attempts to blindly win a championship justifies his absolute, honestly, blindness to many of his relationships and actions around him. Without really giving away any spoilers, the two are given roles which would make it appear that the two wouldn't have much chemistry on paper. Yet the script, directing, and acting, if you combine all those two, they synergize to allow it to be so. In total, these two characters shouldn't be working well together, but based on how the film is structured very successfully, I think that these two synergize as characters incredibly well. I have a few issues with this film, however, and probably my most major qualm with this film is the pacing is awkward at parts. Very emotional scenes seemingly happen out of the blue, which allows for great surprise value, granted, but also does not build you up enough for them to have as grand an impact as it could have had. For me, the plot feels a little more convoluted than it could have been, which definitely contributes to the pacing issue. Furthermore, it is very difficult to tell where different people live and where different scenes geographically actually occur. And based on the characters' accents and plot, this is significant, and it really did bother me. I've discussed this all with multiple people, and we all agree this is a significant issue. That being said, there are a lot of positives which sort of wash out these issues. The music in this film is fantastic, and especially the sound effects for the cars and engines were really powerful. The acting and overall plot were very solid, and I think the film was very clear in explaining the story of Ford and Ferrari in enough detail to not only satisfy car fans, which is important, but also allowing for a simple enough plot that people who do not understand cars at all, they can follow along very comfortably. Also, very underrated, the actor who played Ford was probably the best actor in this film, to be honest. Let that be known. Overall, this film was a very exciting, powerful viewing experience, especially in theaters. The reason this review is coming out so early in the morning, by the way, is because I was actually able to go to the worldwide premiere, which was incredibly exciting, in my opinion, and one that I'm very thankful to be able to go to. I actually got to meet Christian Bale, and I talked to someone who worked at the Ford Motor Company who confirmed that this film was pretty historically accurate. So be known, this film has the appropriate details. Overall, this film I think will be criminally underrated because the subject matter is probably pretty niche for the overall market, but it is worth the experience to see in the theaters nonetheless. So overall, what's a great sort of biopic, maybe sort of action film that you've seen recently? Whatever it may be, leave it in the comment section below, and as always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.